Alright, this is how you deal with puppies. First time puppies who are starting to show food aggression right in the beginning. See how his body's kind of stiff? He actually growled at me the last time. Ouch! You can only do this when they're babies and start teaching them when they're young, or you end up with chance of getting your nose bit off. But the way I deal with food dish aggression is, one, I make sure that when they have it and it's all theirs, nope, come here. Come here, Bubby. No, he's trying to run away. Oh, dang phone focusing. Okay, that I can take it away from them. And I'm not going to just take this. If he started growling at this point, I would just hold it and let him keep eating and chewing until he quit growling. And I would take it away. Sit. Puppy. Sit. He's too excited because it's a bone. You know how to sit. I would take it away in exchange for something else. So you would do the two at the same time, which I can't do with the phone in my hand. But if I had this and I wanted to take it away, I would exchange him that chunk of meat. Good boy. And so he's learning. I hate the focus on this right now. I'm going to get a new phone. He's learning. I can pet him. We can have fun. I'm going to let him go with it. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the same again. And I'm going to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep giving him things like this and exchanging and doing it again these first weeks in his life where he's less dangerous. I mean, yes, he could puncture my hand, and he did on accident. That was actually another dog that I was trying to give a pill to that just coughed and accidentally punctured. Sorry, I was digging. My hands are all dirty in the garden, but he punctured that one. And this puppy got me, right there, on accident. He was chewing on a bone, and he just crunched into my finger while I was trying to play give and take with it. And so none of it was on purpose. Excuse the mess in here. We're doing all kinds of training activities with these puppies. And so this is what my room looks like when I'm raising a puppy. It looks like a mess and chaos, but really, it's for a reason. And so there you have it. Working with a brand new puppy to prevent food dish aggression. Food aggression starts with just one little piece of food, and then we move into the food dish every day. So that's actually a water dish, but I'm there with him when he's eating. I'm putting food, dropping trinkets into his dish, petting him. If he growls, I do not say good boy. So that's a big mistake. Big mistake. You don't want to reward him for being that way, and this is where it's difficult to understand. So in classical conditioning, yes, we reward the dogs. So they're out, they're barking, they're they're barking at another dog, and we want to get them to stop, and so we call them over and we give them a treat. We're not rewarding them for barking at the other dog. We're getting them to calm down with the treats. And then we move them under threshold. So we step back further away from the other dogs, and we reward them for seeing the other dogs. And maybe they're excited, maybe they're about to bark, but we reward them for seeing the other dogs and not barking. In the beginning, okay, so say the dog is so riled up and you're in a situation where you can't get him to stop. You might do something like, for example, I had a neighbor dog that every time I walked out into the yard, it was a puppy. Every time I walked out into the yard, he would bark at me. Growl, 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 bark, bark, bark. And I would throw a treat over the fence and walk away. And so he started to anticipate that I was going to throw these treats. He wouldn't eat the treat when I was there. He was too excited, too over threshold. But when I walked away, he would calm down. He would eat the treat, smell my scent on it, and start to think, hey, when this lady shows up here, I get treats. And so eventually he started to anticipate me coming, and then I wouldn't reward him for barking. I would wait until he stopped barking and give him the treat. So I had a German Shepherd client with a puppy back when I was still fairly new at training. I'd only been doing it really 6 years, and I still think that is fairly new. And this puppy came to my classes. German Shepherd, went through classes. We did sit, lay down, stay, come, that kind of stuff. And she never told me she was having problems at the food dish. And I talked about preventing different things like that making sure you feed them, drop goodies into their treat, don't reprimand them for around their food dish for growling or something. Don't make the fear worse by reprimanding them. But I didn't tell her, don't reward them for growling. And she did. Every time the dog would growl, she would walk up to him and she would say, good dog, good dog. And dog wouldn't have known what good dog meant, except that we had done so much training. He knew that good dog meant, I'm going to give you a reward. You just did something right. And so, otherwise it might have just been a calming noise, but yeah, so, she was rewarding him, for growling, and pretty soon that became one of the most aggressive dogs I had ever seen. The breeder called me and said, hey, come over, I've got this problem with this puppy that had gone through your classes that I had sent out to somebody, and so I went over and we went into the pen. Dog was friendly, nice. I'm like, what's the problem? She said, watch this. And she got on some Kevlar gloves and slipped a food dish through a slat in the pen grate, slid it up, slid a food dish in there, and all of a sudden you see Cujo attacking the bars, going after anybody, running back and forth, hackles up, and just incredibly, and that's how the dog was around food. Any kind of food, toy, anything, you couldn't get anywhere near it. And the dog now was around 9 months old. I had seen it when it was a puppy this size. Had I known there was problems, I would have said, oh, we got to deal with this. But it was never mentioned. I had no idea. And so she did have to put the dog to sleep. And that was really sad. So right now is the time to prevent this. The other thing that I do is I take a coon tail when we're playing out in the yard, and I take a raccoon's tail. See, now he's going to try to run away from me because he knows I might take it from him, and I'm just going to take it from him and go, puppy, sit, sit, yeah, and take it back, good boy. And see, I'll hold it for you, make it easier to get some of those chunks of meat off, and we're all working together. Yeah, so we're good. And this is a puppy that just moments ago for the first time had growled at me when I tried to pick it up. He hadn't done it before. He was testing the waters. We took care of it right away. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. And we didn't have to take care of it with any kind of violence. But we'll also take a raccoon's tail and try working with that. And I'll just step on it with my other puppies. I'll just step on it. And they're trying to get it for me. They're growling. They're rah, rah. And as soon as they quit, I let them have it. So they just learned, and then I'll go after them and try to get it, and they'll try to run and take it away. Once I get it, I have them in a small area, I get it from them, and I play with them, and I give it back. And we start working again and again in tandem so that they realize, I might take it away, but I'm going to give it back, and we're going to have fun with it. There's no reason to ever growl or snap at me, And this is my 4th Belgian Tervuen. We've been through this with all of them, and it's worked really well with all of them. I've never had a dog that I had to worry about at the food dish. All right, thank you.